Coming up this weekend, the rematch you didn't know you needed. We have the Lil Bulldog, Felice Herrig, taking on the former title challenger, Karolina Kowalkiewicz. And when it comes to the 5-on-in for both these fighters, it's so sketchy. It's so sketchy. For Kowalkiewicz, her fit to last fight was the fight against Jessica Andrade, where the lights went out in Georgia, or wherever they went out, and it was not good. And then since then, it's been sketchy. She loses to Michelle Waterson. She loses to Alexa Grasso. She takes ungodly amounts of punishment against Yan Xiaonan 2 years and 3 months ago, takes a long time off, and then about 9.5 months ago, she fights Jessica Penne. And in that fight, listen, Kowalkiewicz talked about retirement after the Yan Xiaonan fight. She had a kid at one point. She talked about retirement throughout her career. And that, not to steal this from you, but it has been weird, and that's never something you like to hear. Retire one time, that's fine. But after you come back, and then you have another loss, you talk about retirement again. Then you have another loss, you talk about retirement. It feels like Karolina Kowalkiewicz is playing her future off the results at this point, not based off of what she wants in her MMA career. Now, she still trains out of Poland, but as well at American Top Team, so you like to see that. And she's getting ready in Florida for this fight. But Kowalkiewicz's last fight against Jessica Penne, you think, okay, when it comes to striking, Jessica Penne's got one or two moves, and then we got to get to the ground. I mean, that's how she, got her bread buttered with Invicta on The Ultimate Fighter, that crazy fight with Randa Marcos, and then the long time off, and so on and so forth. But Jessica Penne, ground fighter. Karolina Kowalkiewicz somehow gets Jessica Penne to, accept guard. She drops, and then she's just laying down on her back and going, hey, Karolina, come on. And Karolina goes, fight IQ, I don't need that. I'm going into Penne's guard. And they kind of wrestle around, but ultimately, Penne's just threatening armbar after armbar, and then finally she gets the armbar win over Kowalkiewicz. And it was like, well, I know Karolina is a kickboxer. I know exactly what I like to see when she's on. And you could see flashes of that at the start of the Penne fight. She's moving great side to side. She still has speed. She's popping her shots out there, but not really landing much. But then when it comes to that ground opponent, it's just so odd to see such a former high-level fighter make such a mistake that you wouldn't expect it of her. There's no aggression in Karolina Kowalkiewicz anymore. That was her calling card when she first got her title shot against Joanna. It was, hey, she moves forward. She doesn't stop. It's a lot of clinch. It's a lot of forward pressure. It was kind of the Hall of Fame version of a smaller Joanne Calderwood, if you will. But Karolina, after that Jessica Andrade knockout loss, has never been the same fighter. And this isn't just me saying it. I highly recommend you go back and watch a lot of her fights. Even in that fight against Jessica Andrade, she's throwing strikes with her eyes completely closed. And I know it's easy for me to say, who's never fought Jessica Andrade inside of a cage. Because, hey, she'd knock us both out the same night. It'd be insane. Jessica Andrade, one of my all-time favorite fighters to watch, and she is great to watch, has incredible power. We all know how good Andrade is. I really do think she changed the career of Karolina Kowalkiewicz, though, and this is something that I talked about earlier on in the Benoit Saint-Denis fight, because I was going to also bring it up in this matchup. Karolina has not been the same fighter whatsoever since the Andrade fight, and I do think it did affect her. And like you said, with her kind of throwing her fight IQ out the door, it's not even just that fight against Jessica Penne. There's been multiple instances throughout Karolina's career to where she'll just sort of make a mistake at the worst possible time. Almost liken it to Edson Barbosa. Barbosa had that stretch where he fought Tony Ferguson, even against Dan Hooker, where he's lighting him up on the feet, then goes for a takedown for no reason. There's always that one spot in his fight where you're like, hey, Edson, what are we doing? But with Karolina, she doesn't have the X factor that sort of got her to the dance in the first place. I talk about Tyreek Hill. It'd be like if John Morant didn't have hops. We all know John Morant because he can dunk on people. If he all of a sudden was just nah, I shoot mid-range jump shots now, we'd all be asking what the heck he's doing. For Karolina, now she is almost like an outside boxer. She doesn't really want to engage as much with her opponents, and I do think a lot of that is attributed to the damage that she has taken throughout her career. So I think Karolina's the more skilled fighter in this matchup based on the fighters we have seen in their past, but Karolina is nowhere near the fighter that she once was when she was making her way up the rankings. She had a fight of the night at UFC 201 against Rose Namajunas, and then she fought Jessica Andrade and she fought Joanna Jędrzejczyk. All three judges' scorecards, 49-46, and that fight to now, she's 2-7. So it has not been very kind to Karolina Kowalkiewicz. Her last win was over Felice Herrig, and that fight was 4 years and a month ago. For Felice Herrig, her last win 4 years and 5 months ago was against one Courtney Casey. Cast iron Courtney Casey. It was arguable. Again, the fight between Herrig and Kowalkiewicz was a split decision, but I thought Kowalkiewicz won round 1 and round 2. It is what it is. But Matt, for Felice Herrig, major injuries. She's had a lot of knee problems in the past 4 years. She loses to Michelle Waterson 3 years, 7 months ago. She fights about a year, 9 months ago against Vina Jandiroba. Gets taken down and submitted. So you don't really get to learn a whole lot about Felice Herrig. And for both these fighters, these are strikers. Felice Herrig came into MMA as what, Matt?
A Thai boxer.
A Thai boxer. And you see that in not just her Instagram pictures, which are what they are, and what she does a lot on the Instagrams and the socials. But
what does she do, Craig? I don't know. I don't have Instagram.
I don't know. Only about the fans, Matt. Only about the fans. But for Felice Herrig, very much a striker in her own game. But my God, she doesn't fight very often.
No, like, again, I don't know what anybody's expecting from this fight. Like, sometimes Michael Chandler fights Justin Gaethje, and we get up here, and we're so excited this fight can go any different way. Felice Herrig and Karolina Kowalkiewicz are going to get into a lot of 50-50 exchanges. That's the only thing I feel comfortable saying. Because Karolina, again, very hesitant at this stage of her career, but Felice Herrig uses her feet way too much. She doesn't sit down on any power shots. I always go back to the Courtney Casey fight where they're just like flipping each other off in the strangest, most like over-emotional way possible, and they're not really doing anything outside of just their taunting. So, like, I don't really know what anybody's going to expect from this fight, because you have two fighters who are nowhere near the prime of their careers at this stage, who just seem to be given another shot. Like, this is like if Rampage fought Forrest Griffin in like 2015.
Give him Vanderlei again and make him fight this year.
This is the most Bellator UFC fight you're ever going to see.
So the odds in this one, Herrig open to plus 100, minus 127 for Kowalkiewicz. Open to minus 120, plus 103. We have a look at the Topology votes. Surprise to us, they are to you. Matt, I'd say a lot of fans flip coins. I'd say more than pick Kowalkiewicz. I'm going to say 65% over-under.
I think it'll be close to 50.
60% Kowalkiewicz, 40% Herrig. This fight was formally announced here in the last week or two, so this is a really, really weird one. And if you want me to make this one fun and you made it this far, I remember when Karolina Kowalkiewicz fought Michelle Waterson like it was yesterday, because I was in the back of a rental car on my phone on the way from seeing Adam Doliak make his Grand Ole Opry debut. I saw Mason Ramsey that night and Kelly Pickler. Matt was there with me. Matt, you remember that night?
Kelly Pickler. Beautiful.
That was the night that our grandmother decided, Tony Ferguson, Anthony Pettis is too much for me. I don't need to see Halabib fighting Conor McGregor.
Can you blame her? She is an elderly woman who witnessed two people beat each other to the brink of death.
Yep, boys, it's time to go to bed. So, when it comes to this fight, Matt, what's the pick?
There's no winners in this, Craig. This is one of these picks where we're going to look dumb no matter what.
I'm taking Felice Herrig.
I'm probably going to also take Felice Herrig because, again, she resembles the fighter that she once was a little bit more closely than Karolina Kowalkiewicz. And I agree with you. I thought Kowalkiewicz won their first fight quite comfortably, if I'm being quite honest. It was a fun back and forth fight, but Kowalkiewicz had a lot of success with her Thai elbows on the inside. I do expect her to have some success with those again. I still think she's going to be comfortable at that range to keep on going back to the well over and over and over again. So I guess I'll agree with you. I've got Felice Herrig.
Both of us going not comfortable. What word do you use?
I don't know.
We're going with the Lil Bulldog, Felice Herrig, to get the win.
You know that song by The Weeknd? I'm out of time. Both these fighters are out of time, okay? I'm very surprised they're still in the organization.
All right, we're out of time. Enjoy the rest of the card. Keep it locked in with Fight Night Picks. We always say,
let's get into it.